to make them know that I'm not a child, I'm a worker, I took a whole wall from the store to the building, or I took 2 sacks of cement from the store to the building. After a few time, I understood that I get their sympathy as a good worker, so I asked them to take me to work as Anshel Sheratsky, not as Bel Sheratsky, my brother. They agreed to take me to work as Anshel Sheratsky. But for a child from 11 years to work near the building, it was too good. They took me to make the basement. We stand outside, snow, freeze, rain, about 20 people around, and we work, and the Ukrainians were guarding us. What they've done, they went from one to the other and beat with stock. If you come to me, give me 7, 10 stocks, I run away, I must come back, begin to work, and he began to beat from the beginning. After a few time, again action, again they took all the people out of the houses. They took us to the empty field where they hanged the 20 people. The German turned around between the people. Mothers of all children the arm, they took the children with lasso around their necks and threw them on lorries. Somebody fell down, we have to take them to throw them on lorries like sacks of potatoes. So they hold us 3 days on this field. After 3 days, they took us out to the Jewish cemetery. The Jewish cemetery was outside the ghetto. The Jewish cemetery was a place about 300 meters long, 200 meters wide, surrounded a big wall. They put all of us on one end of the cemetery, and everyone must cross along the wall. And along the wall, there were standing 2 lines of German soldiers. And everyone who passed, every soldier gives his present, or with stock, or with strap, or kept with his boots. I was standing with my mother and my young brother, Gabriel. We were standing near the grave of my grandmother. I jumped on the stone, I looked around, and I stepped down, and I said, Mother, here we are going to be separated. Where I took this knowledge, a child 13 years old, I can't understand even now. We start to go. My young brother Gabriel went the first one, my mother after him, and I after them. All the stock, all the beat I get, I didn't feel it all. Every stock my young brother Gabriel get, or my mother, like they cut my skin. So we passed about 2/3 the length of the wall. A German put a stock before me. I don't know why I made a movement like that. He said, yeah, there is auch gut. Yes, this is also good. They took me to left. All those who went to left was to life. All those who went straight was to death. I told you that we have been in 1959 more than 5,000 Jewish people in Jewish Kabbalah. 1942, there have been already 8,000. 4,000 or have been sent to the camps or have been killed. From the 8,000, 1,200 went left, 7,000 went straight. They set us in lines and gave us portion of bread. To the 7,000 they threw inside portion of bread. We've been already 5 days out of home. People tried to catch a piece of bread. They shoot inside, they threw stones inside. We have to sit 2 days more to see this show. After 2 days they took us out from the Jewish cemetery. When I went out, I saw my mother and my brother. Their eyes I can see even now. They took us to the train station, put us in cattle wagons, and took us to Ghetto Lodge. The distance between Jewish Kabbalah and Lodge, 48 kilometers. We traveled 5 days. People died in the wagon. I was also almost dead. Why? I needed the toilet, and I couldn't do it on the wagon. After 5 days, the door opened. In the wagon, there was a Jewish policeman. He said to me, Anshel, step down. I stepped down. Downstairs was standing a German soldier. Come here, why did you step down? I said, the Jewish policeman gave me permission to go to the toilet. Go to the wall. I went to the wall. He took his pistol, he gave a few shots. Then he called me to him, put the pistol at here and said, Hesse said, thank you, he's been lucky that he didn't succeed before. And he held the pistol at I don't know how much time. I was already asking that he will do it. Then they said, go back to the wagon and you will step down the last one. I went back to the wagon, I stepped down the last one. They took me, put me inside ghetto lodge. I went inside the ghetto, I went away from the gate a few meters, and I stand up, a child, 13 years old. I never left before home. Here I am by myself. I don't know what I'm allowed to do, what I'm not allowed to do. Gentlemen, seems to me that I get a blackout. Because when I woke up, I saw that I'm standing in the darkness. I saw that I'm standing near a house. I went inside the house, sat on the steps. Night passed, I came out, go forwards every step, it hesitating with fear. Again night, again steps. I don't know how much time it passed. Then I hear that people are talking on the hill. There's a factory of shoes in the ghetto who was looking for workers. I went there, they took me to work. I start to work, I start to get every day soup, found also a guy who agreed to take me to live with him and two other guys in one room. Everything was okay. It seems to be that my stomach wasn't used anymore to get every day soup and I get sick. I couldn't go on my food. I went to fall like a dog. At work they give me to do what I could do, but here I had a problem. Ghetto lodge, middle of the street, was crossing electric train. The Jewish who need to pass from one side to the street to the other side must cross a bridge. And I was leaving the other side of the bridge. Near the bridge there were standing German soldiers. If they will see that I am going off war, they will send me straight away to the gas chamber. So I went to work, it was still dark, and I went back, it was already dark. Again, I don't know how much time it passed. When I was sick, I didn't eat anything. Every day I sold my soup. One day I felt that I'm ready to eat something. Asked people to bring me a soup, another soup, and after a few times I get up on my foot and start to be a human. Then they took me, sent me to Auschwitz-Birkenau, again in cattle wagons. We arrived there, the door opened, yellowing, we have to run quick to cross 2 lines of German soldiers. Every soldier gives his present. At the end of the line was standing the known Dr. Mengele. He was standing with his hand in his jacket. This finger was pointing who is going to life and who is going to death. Again I was successful. They sent me to the camp. Forward inside the camp, you have to take up all the clothes, they cut hair from everywhere where hair is, and they took us to the camp. The camp was in Birkenau, Auschwitz-Birkenau was like that. Every 2 lines of barracks was a camp. So it was camp A, B, C, D, E, hospital for experience and crematorium. They took me to camp E. They put me in block number 4. During the day we couldn't stay in the block. During the day we have to be outside. Since it was cold, we stand in groups. Who was stronger was more in the middle to get the warmth from the other bodies. I, as a child, was almost pushed outside. One day, I'm standing outside, arrived a man from my town. Anshel, you are here, you know what happened? Your brother is here. Since he get the message that I'm in Ghetto Lodge and all the people from Ghetto Lodge arriving to Auschwitz, so he's waiting for me. He took me, we went near the electric gate. I was in Camp E, my brother was in Camp E. We started to call to the other side, Bell, Bell. Somebody came out, said, Bell is at work, he will be back on in the evening. Okay, we went back to block number 4. I come near the block, I saw any conversion. I ran quick, there is a count. They took us, the children, out of the line, they give us the portion of bread, and took us to block number 22, and closed us inside the block because outside there been children. They didn't get yet the portion of bread, that we don't mix and get the other portion of bread. What am I supposed to do? I have to go to see my brother, and I'm closing the block. I went to one responsible of the block. Sponsor of the block have been all Polish people or German political prisoners. I went to a Polish responsible. I told him I need a toilet. Toilet has not been in every block. Toilet was only one block toilet for the whole camp. He took from me the portion of bread and said, run, if you will not be back quick, you will see what happened. I ran, I found Jakob Weinstein, I told him what happened, that here I'm closing the block, now I came anyhow out. In the evening, I don't know if I will be able to come out. I ran quick. The portion of bread, he didn't give me back anymore. The evening arrived, They put inside the block 1,200 children lying on the floor, one with the head on one side, the other with the head on the other side. Everyone is putting the food in the mouth from the other one, the yellowing. The responsible of the block are running on the bodies and beating with stock to make quiet. This makes more noise. And I saw that I hear calling Anshel Sheratsky. But I saw this is my imagination. Night passed, 4:30 in the morning, wake up. I went near the door, Yankee was already standing near the door. You know what happened here yesterday evening? The whole camp was on his foot. Your brother wanted to cross the electric fence to look for you. Okay, it took me, went near the electric fence. My brother was already standing in the other side. He asked me only, Anshel, this is you? I was a scholar. I said yes. He went inside his block, he took a bread with a salome and threw it to the electric gate. Then he said at 7 o'clock he's coming to work in my camp. 7 o'clock he come to my camp. He turned around from one block to the other. He make me know important people. Never one who see like I look. First thing they give me food. So we turned around the whole day. In the evening he went back to his block. After a few times, the responsible of the block went from one child to the other and asked who want to go to work with potatoes. Gentlemen who don't want to go to work with potatoes. From 1,200 children, we rested 2. I wanted to be near my brother, another one who was sick. All the 1,200 went to work with potatoes in the gas chamber and crematorium. After a few times, we started to hear the Russian cannons. Then they took us out from Auschwitz to Mauthausen. Maybe we hear the march of death. We went day and night, snow, freeze. Who couldn't continue, who was behind? Behind there were again German soldiers who was behind, they shoot. We arrived to Mauthausen, again a camp of barracks. In the barracks there had been Russian and Polish prisoners. They took us, the Jewish, they divided us between the barracks. We had a special job. When the German come inside the barrack, the Germans stand in the middle, the Russian, the Polish prisoners sit around. We, the Jews, have to go forward like dogs around them. They beat the sweat or kick with their boots. After a few times, again we start to hear the Russian cannon, and they took us out from Mauthausen to Gunskirchen. This was a camp of dying. Every day a lot of people died. If one night I was lying on a bridge, I come the other night, or I can move a few dead people to lie between them, I have to look for other place. To step down, the floor was full of dead people. But after a few times, we saw the German run away. The camp was in a big forest. We took a few hours, we arrived to Principal Route. There we saw American tanks. This was in Austria, in a place what is called Hirschen. After a few times, arrived the Brigada. Brigada, those are guys from Israel who served in the British Army through the Second World War. They came to us, took us from Austria to Italy. We've been 6 months in Italy. We studied Hebrew. In November 1945, there were 400 children that we get the last permission from the White Book. We came legally to Israel. I came to Israel, was taken to Agriculture Institute.